not fast to judge, and you see the best in everybody. You're an optimist. So, Mitch Hedberg, how did you guys part companies after that first time?
Well, he said to me, Bob, what do you think? And I said, Mitch, we try to bring the comics up twice a year, so every 6 months. And so please call me in about 4 months and we'll reschedule. And what I had thought to myself was that if this young man believes in himself enough and pursues his career like most of us with vigor and faith in himself, then he'll have improved that much more 6 months or a year down the road.
And of course, as we've been saying all throughout the show, what we're talking about is the 80s and the 90s, a different time. Nowadays, a comic, in Edmonton there's 4 clubs to play. The Yuck Yucks, the Laugh Shop, the Factory, and the Strip. And it's the top of the hour. So I'll just let you know, you are listening to the Comedy Clubhouse on CJSR. Your dial is turned to 88.5. And that's the very first one. So if that's a mistake, well, stick with us another hour and then go to the Bear or something. But right now, it's 88. So you're either listening to 88.5 in Edmonton or you're on CJSR.com. It's the Comedy Club with Powerman. We got 4 clubs in Edmonton. We got Jimmy Schubert is at the comic strip all week, and he's a very, very funny man. We have Mr. Paul Spheen, who is at the Laugh Shop. And actually, you know what? We're going to do one of our favorite features here right now. We're actually going to get inspirational words of wisdom from Mr. Paul Spheen. Thank you, Mr. Paul Spheen. Whenever I am at my darkest time and I look to the sky and I wonder what is out there, what words of wisdom could be imparted on me, I just say, Paul Spheen, what should I do? And that's a good point. Now, Bob, you worked with Paul Spheen. What was it like working with Paul Spheen?
He was one of my best friends when we got started in the business because, of course, we were all independents and pretty well supportive of one another. Paul is a perfect example of what hard work and faith in one's performance levels can attain and achieve. He's made quite a success of himself, and he's made a couple of television appearances now. So Paul's a perfect example of what hard work, tenacity, and perseverance means. Okay,
I keep changing the subject, and I know that. Mitch Hedberg called you again in 6 months?
Yeah, well, he called back approximately a year after the first tour, because I think what was happening for Mitch is he was starting to get a following for one, and he was starting to gather some momentum. So I think before he started to attain some real success, he phoned me again and asked to come up again. And I thought to myself, well, I've seen performers who've had faith in themselves come back a year later, and it was like night and day. So Mitch comes up a second time to do another 2-week tour. And Powerman, the response and the return on the client's performance was exactly the same. Bob, he's a nice man. He's not funny. So I had to make a decision personally as a booker that for some reason, Mitch just still was not connecting with our audiences. Not to say anything about his performance personally, because if he had still been doing stand-up for this long, he must be getting some response and some support somewhere to keep him going. Now, ironically...
And it's surprising how far he went and how much support... And who was supporting him?
Absolutely, Powerman. That's why this business will never cease to amaze me, because just the fact that I've been at this for 20 years doesn't mean shit, because a lot of these performers are performing for audiences of all denominations across North America. And these performers are seeing and hearing firsthand the response and the support they're getting from live audiences. So Mitch Hedberg never gave up on himself. And as I shared with you earlier, I happened to be in a hotel on business in British Columbia, and it was late in the evening, and I happened to be flipping through the channels, Sport Night, one channel, the Weather Channel on a second channel, and a third channel. I just happened to be flipping through, and David Letterman is announcing his musical guest, Blondie, and special guest comedian Mitch Hedberg. Powerman, I almost fell off the bed. I said, are you serious, Mitch Hedberg? And of course, after the musical guest, after several pet tricks, out comes Mitch Hedberg and knocks him dead for 7 minutes. And that's the day I realized anything can happen and will happen in stand-up comedy.
And you know what? 4 things happen in this town every week. Like I was saying, Bob Angeli, if you're enjoying listening to him, it's a good time. Pop down to the factory. I believe he'll be there all weekend.
That is correct. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's right. And of course, Paul Sfeen, who can be heard here, listen to his crowd reaction, is going to be at the Laugh Shop in Londonderry Mall. Jimmy Schubert at the comic strip. And right now, we're getting a little taste from television. John Doerr, TV's John Doerr, is going to be at the Yuck Yucks in the Century Casino. We're going to hear a little John Doerr, a little Canadian content. Well, we're going to be right back with Mr. Bob Angeli on the Comedy Clubhouse. CJSR. That was a little John Doerr right here on the Comedy Clubhouse. And, of course, he will be at the Yuck Yucks all week. But, if I had to recommend one show, well, he's looking right at me. So I'd go say, I'd say go see Bob Angeli at the Comedy Factory.
We'd love to have you.
That's Gateway and 36th Ave.
That is correct. Inside Gateway Entertainment Center.
That's right. That's Bob Angeli. Paul Sfeen is at the Laugh Shop in Londonderry Mall. John Doerr, Century Casino. Jimmy Schubert, West Edmonton Mall's comic strip. We're right back with Bob Angeli. Before we get to our next topic, our next comment of question and concern, just because I'm a narcissist, here are a couple ads that I am in and such. How much is that beer at the Black Dog? Roof. That hole in the wall on White Ave. Screw you! How much is that beer at the Black Dog? Roof. Mention this ad and it's free. Yeah, right. Beer is not free at the Black Dog. Very similar ads, but I'm proud of both of them. We're right back here with Bob Angeli. We've been talking in the last hour about how he opened up against the Yuck Yucks, and that's mirrored by Rick Bronson and the comic strip opening up against them. Bill Robinson, Mark Breslin's former partner in the Edmonton and Calgary Yuck Yucks, of course, he went into semi-retirement, and as the young generation does, his daughter, Chrissy Rubin, decided to take the business a different way, left the Yuck Yucks franchise, kind of like Bob did 20 years ago, and opened up the Laugh Shop. Breslin's back right now in the Yuck Yucks. It's funny how mirror repeats itself. We were also talking about how he worked with Mitch Hedberg twice, and Mitch Hedberg went on to great things after leaving Bob.
That's right.
Which is also kind of what happened to Ryan Stock.
Yeah, there's another phenomenal story. A local talent started doing bizarre magic. And, of course, Powerman now has his own TV show.
Yeah, well, Powerman doesn't have his own TV show. Powerman, that guy has his own TV show. Let's be clear. But I have appeared on that television show.
Yes.
Now, Ryan Stock, for the benefit of our listeners who don't know, might be better known as the guinea pig. Also called the human guinea pig. Also called the world's greatest sideshow performer. I met Ryan Stock, well, about 10 years ago. The very same day he met his fiancée, the lovely Amber Lynn, who is the host of the television show Guinea Pig. We all met right here at the Edmonton Fringe Festival, where he and she were all street performing separately. He started out young in Beaumont. That's right. Great little suburb of Edmonton. Beaumont's favorite son, Ryan Stock, began at an early age, began magic, as many young children did. He actually specialized, or no, not specialized, but he actually was quite competent in dove magic. Until such a time he got into the sideshow arts, the human blockhead, pierced weightlifting, inspired by, such amazing performers as the Jim Rose Circus, which just a few short years later, he was actually a starring member of, under the name Rupert, and then later under his own name, Ryan Stock. He performed all over the place, including Bob Angeli, put him up at a number of places Bob Angeli booked.
Including the original discussion when we opened the Sidetrack Cafe.
That's right, and Ryan would do some of his pierced weightlifting there, and he was a big hit.
Very big hit, especially with the, as you said, face piercing stunt, because he would actually get one of the staff or two of the staff to bring a keg.
Yeah, a beer keg.
And ladies and gentlemen, a full beer keg.
That's right. And he would actually pierce live on stage.
Absolutely.
And with fresh piercings. Probably a violation of health code standards. But with fresh piercings, he would lift his full beer keg. And of course, that was just a start. Now he's gone on to work with the Jim Rose Circus, to be featured in Bizarre Magazine, to appear on Steve Harvey's Big Time. He has, he's been on everything. He's been all over the place. Now he's got his own show. It's called Guinea Pig on Discoveries. And you know what? He's doing great. He's
doing very well. That's why, Powerman, I've always said, persevere, and you shall attain. You shall achieve. You shall be successful.
That's right. So that's another thing me and Bob have in common, knowing Ryan Stock for many, many years.
Right on. And, we were talking about local flavor. We talked about Mitch Hedberg's tremendous success, sadly, more so after he left us. But another famous name, Powerman, that we're very proud of, we discussed earlier before the on-air, Brent Butt.
Yeah, Mr. Brent Butt. Actually, and of course, if you don't know Brent Butt, you better know Corner Gas.
Absolutely. And, we're talking about a local comic, and you talk about grassroots, a Saskatchewan boy, done well for himself, went to Toronto, then on to Vancouver. He worked the punchlines for many years and just kept honing his craft. Very lovable guy, just as lovable as his character on Corner Gas, which probably emanates his lifestyle and why that show has become so popular. But he worked the comedy club, the Comedy Factory, a couple of times as well before he hit big with Corner Gas.
Yeah, now he is a Saskatchewan boy, and he reps that. In his show Corner Gas. Now, he is actually one of the... When people talk about Yuck Yucks, and of course the whole game is different now. It's a whole different game.
Yes, it is.
Just like, and sometimes right here on CJSR 88.5, we play the BBC, and when we do, it sounds something like this. And that's what the BBC sounds like. Usually there's more British people. One thing they've been talking about on the BBC a lot, because I listen to CJSR every day and night, is the new cricket. Actually, they have a fast-paced cricket. Do you know anything about cricket, Bob Angeli?
No.
This is really off topic, but the little I know about cricket is a cricket test actually involves several matches.
Okay.
So every time two teams go to play cricket, and I guess because there's, a team in South Africa goes to London to play cricket, it's not, let's just play a match. It's like they're always in playoffs, I guess, would be a good analogy.
It's over several days, isn't it?
It's over several days, and now they have some speed cricket, and some of the cricket purists sometimes on BBC, having panel discussions because apparently they care about it. But then again, they could care less when we're talking about hockey, talking about how the game has changed.
Well, it's nice to know that we have something in common then, Powerman, because we like to drink, and so do they.
Yeah, but so I'm talking about the game changing. Of course, when people talk historically about Yuck Yucks, two names come to mind. Two people who didn't end up working with Yuck Yucks. In fact, two people who Yuck Yucks said, you know what? You're not going to do anything. We don't want to see you anymore. Those two people are Jim Carrey and Brent Butt.
Yes.
Yeah. So Brent Butt, of course, like we were talking earlier, some people became independent just for fun, and some people...
Well, I think you hit it on the nose, Powerman. First of all, comics have to make a choice that if they decide to pigeonhole themselves to work, say, exclusively for one particular outfit, then it restricts them from potentially working out deals for themselves. And the fact that Brent stuck to his guns and decided that working independently was his best avenue for success, is a milestone that gives us initiative to strive for as fellow independent comics. So for Brent Butt, the choice was a good one.
That's definitely true. Now, of course, in a perfect world, everything would be right at our fingertips. But in this case, it's not. And I'm afraid I don't have a good quality Brent Butt clip to play. But since there were two names I just mentioned, here is the other guy who went the independent route. This is actually Jim Carrey in a rare stand-up comedy clip. So this is Jim Carrey before he got into acting, before he made it big. This is actually from the 80s. So please enjoy. That was a little Jim Carrey at the Comedy Store in LA. And that was just at the cusp of when he was making it big. It wouldn't be too long until Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, would put him on the map.
Amazing story right there.
I think so.
Canadian talent done well.
And you know what? You're not doing too shabby yourself, Mr. Bob Angeli. Comedy Factory. That's Gateway Boulevard, Gateway Lanes.
And ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow Jim Carrey is not at the Comedy Factory.
But you know who's in town on Sunday? Dane Cook.
Wow.
I said it once. Anyway, some funny people are actually going to be at the 4 comedy clubs.
All 4 clubs this weekend.
That's right.
Edmonton is supporting 4 comedy clubs tonight, June the 4th, 09.
That's right. So here's what you can do, and if you wanted to do it, I think you should. Why don't we say Thursday night? You go down to the Comedy Factory. You check out Mr. Bob Angeli.
We'd love to have you.
And special guests. And that's Thursday night. Friday night, why don't you go down and check out Jimmy Schubert at... no, you know what? Save that. Why don't you go check out John Doerr at Yuck Yucks Friday night. Go check out Paul's Feed at the Laugh Shop Saturday night. And close out your week with Jimmy Schubert, not Dane Cook. Jimmy Schubert at the comic strip. That's 4 great performances. And I mean, if one of those nights is not good, of course, there's 2 shows usually on Fridays and Saturdays. So I mean, you could double book it. And with the Laugh Shop, actually, I believe they're on their Saturdays doing a little earlier. Check the website.
Absolutely.
And if you want to know who's coming up at the Comedy Factory, check it out at thecomedyfactory.com. If you ever call the Comedy Factory, you really got to hope no one answers, because the way Bob says thecomedyfactory.com, could you tell us what your outgoing message is right now?
If you'd like to get involved in a little bit of laughter, come down to the Comedy Factory. Website is www.thecomedyfactory.com.
That's always fun.
Well, we always try to make sure that people who come down enjoy themselves and make a night of it.
You know what, Bob? I'm going to do something special for our listeners right now.
Sounds good.
And I think they're really going to enjoy this. And this is the kind of fun thing we do on the radio. All right, we're going to do this. This is going to be funny.
Hi, you've reached the Comedy Factory Thursday, June the 4th. For comedians or hypnotists on tour, leave your name and your number. At the Comedy Club, we have one great show this evening at 8:30 with special guests. Tickets can be purchased at the door to reserve. Leave your name and your number. Thanks for calling. See you tonight.
Woo! Oh, you didn't even see the website.
Woo! Let's book it.
All right.
That sounds like fun.
Hey, Bob, it's Matt Alladine. I was... all right. It's not. It's Powerman. And we're having a good time. Right here on the radio. We got less than a half an hour before Electro Prolapse with DJ Kucha is going to come on the air.
Folks, this is a milestone show. This is 3 years on CJSR's Comedy Clubhouse.
And you know what? It's coming up on 20 years for the Comedy Factory brand name and 9 years on Labor Day for the Comedy Factory Club.
Amazing. We're still a baby.
That's right. Baby boomer.
That's right.
Anyway, so that was a little awkward silence. Now, of all the people you've worked with, all the places you've been, I mean, God forbid you should ever pass, but on your deathbed, What was your greatest moment in show business?
CJSR Radio.
Wow, that's sad for both of us.
No, I think opening for Howie Mandel was a big thrill. This is before Howie hit big. But, it's always interesting when you're performing on a stage with a fellow comedian that reaches such tremendous success. I never got a chance to work with Jim that you just had on the air. Working with Mitch Hedberg was really interesting because of the fact that when you see a performer live, not getting any response whatsoever, and then reaching the pinnacle of stand-up success from a television standpoint and reaching either The Tonight Show or Letterman just adds to the thrill of the fact that anything is possible at any time in your career.
And it really does show you how times have changed. I mean, back in the day, there was one comedy club in Canada. Now there's hundreds.
There's hundreds. That's absolutely right.
And back in the day, it meant something to get on those shows. But now, I think, as everyone knows, it's not hard to get on Leno. I think we all know that any no-talent schlub from Edmonton could get on Leno. But anyhow...
Well, Powerman, it still takes perseverance, hard work, and a little bit of luck.
And a lot of blowjobs. Thanks, Bob. You can come back anytime. Wow, that got weird.
It's all good.
You know what? I think I'm going to take this chime before we end, and we still got less than a half an hour. But I just want to pump a couple more clips in here because I've been so busy talking to Bob. I would be remiss if I didn't play a little Jimmy Schubert, who's going to be at the comic strip. Because far be it from anyone to accuse me of being impartial, even if I have one of the club owners, operators, and headliners on. This is Jimmy Schubert. You can see him at the comic strip. That's Jimmy Schubert.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. That's very funny. You know what? That comedy was so good it exceeded our bandwidths.
Oh man.
It exceeded our ha-ha wits. You know what? But I just want to tell you a little bit about the Comedy Factory if I could. There's hypnotists, magicians, illusionists, variety acts, ventriloquists, impressionists, improv.
And yes,
MCs,
folks, I do it all.
Yes. You know what? The Comedy Factory booking agent, we provide entertainment for any occasion. And when I say we, I mean Bob Angeli. I'm not affiliated in any way. Now in our 9th year, thank you for supporting live comedy. So many great comedians coming to the Comedy Factory. Of course, this week it's Mr. Bob Angeli.
That's me.
June 11th to 13th, it's Gene Renfrew.
Gene Renfro, that's right, from Chicago.
And he hasn't been through too many times before.
This is his first up to Canada.
Now, you know what? And that's next week. But you know what? Over the last 6 years, Gene has been working the major comedy clubs throughout the U.S. He has a laid-back style that quickly connects with his audiences.
That's the key, Powerman.
That's right.
Connection.
And then June 18 to the 20th, Dennis Ross is coming back.
Dennis Ross has been on Club 54 more times than any other American.
And then, of course, later on, things change. There's a lot of bookings, a lot of things on the plate. But tentatively scheduled for the next little while, Tim Coslow's coming. You can see Marty Hannenberg. Leif Skiving will be there. I really hope that it's true what I'm reading here, that in September... we got Daryl Rhodes coming through.
Daryl Rhodes for the second appearance at the Comedy Factory.
That's right, September 17, 18, and 19, Daryl Rhodes is going to be here. And David Rosenblatt will be here in October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
You know what's amazing, Powerman?
What's that?
If you had told me 9 years ago the lineup for September of 2009, I would not have believed it.
That's right. And, of course, it's an 8:30 show on Friday and an 8 o'clock show on Saturday.
Yeah, there's an 8 and 10:30.
Yeah. Now, and of course on Saturday, there's a 10:30 as well. Yeah, 8 and 10:30.
Folks, come and check us out.
Now, let's just take a moment to to see, who's all listed on the Comedy Factory website. Now, to be fair, when was the last time you updated your roster?
Well, what we try to do is most of those performers have worked the comedy club, and as new performers, new headliners approach us about an opportunity, we try to update their file and add it to the list.
Okay, so I'm just going to take a moment and I'm just going to tell people what all happened. This is, of course, the comedianettes. These are the female
the
comics.
Females.
Yeah.
Which we both know there are not a lot of.
So we have Barb North, who,
yes,
died of cancer. Drew Fishman had AIDS. Peg Barcelo Jackson, that was some coccyx complications.
Remember what I said, Powerman, faith. So when you go to the other side, you'll still be entertained.
No, none of those people are dead. They're just washed up. But let's see who we have. But you know what? Attila is actually still working as a hypnotist. He doesn't live around here anymore.
No, he's moved on to Ontario. But he's asked us to keep him listed because he still gets demand in Western Canada, especially the venues he had tremendous success at before.
You've worked with Attila. You've worked with Sebastian Steele.
Yes. Steele is one of the most amazing hypnotists still working today.
And Wayne Lee.
Yes, Wayne Lee is amazing.
You know what? And not just hypnotists. I mean, Attila is also a magician.
That is correct.
And John Charles.
He started performing on little boys, little children.
Yeah. And that's good. That's disturbing. I might have to play another warning. Also, John Charles, who's a very good local performer.
He's brilliant at what he does and semi-retired.
And what can I say? And what can I say about Ron Pearson?
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. You have to see him live.
You know what? He's an Edmonton magician who also has a wealth of festival experience, and he's performed at most of the Edmonton festivals, as well as in Waterloo Busters Festival and the Whistler Summer Festival. He's actually great.
Yeah, he tells you he's Canada-wide.
Yeah. And I mean, what do you call a magician, illusionist? I mean, there's also Howard Gelly and Dale Downing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could fill hours just reading your website with outdated material. But Brian still works.
That's correct. Brian's still touring.
Ryan Madden. Whatever happened to Ryan Madden?
Ryan Madden.
In his leopard skin escape.
Yes. Apparently he's living and escaping Vancouver.
Yeah. And, of course, variety acts. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I just clicked on that. Never mind. Oh, wow. And that's good. It's good. Anyway, David Stanichi. Let's talk a little bit about David Stanichi, who has been by your side for a while, helping you out.
David Stanichi.
Could you have done it without Stanichi?
No.
No.
As you know, Powerman, every business needs a right arm in order to succeed. And David is one of those workhorses, persevered, and has come a long way in a very short period of time. Now he's headlining his own venue across Western Canada. He's flying up to Yellowknife July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for those of you Yukoners.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It really is. So, yeah,
to be able to perform for those.
Stanichi? I would say Stanichi.
Well, you know what? Once you eat too much of that Mundare sausage.
He's actually heir to the Mundare sausage crown.
That's correct. So you got to give him kudos to be doing comedy for nothing when he's worth multi-millions.
So, Bob, I mean, we're a hard-hitting journalistic show, so I have to ask. Have you ever seen Dave's Giant Sausage?
I've taken a bite out of it, Powerman.
Oh, goodness.
And that is some good sausage.
Oh, my gosh. You know what? We're just a little bit away from getting off the air. DJ Cooch, paging DJ Cooch, if you're around, let me know. Anyway, that's the kind of show we're running here. It's the University Station.
Sounds good to me, Powerman. Play a little more of Mitch Hedberg before we say goodnight.
Okay, I might, okay, well, then give me that CD. Well, that's good to get me on the edge like that. This is Mitch Hedberg.
He's a hero to a lot of comedians.
Yeah, this is actually from his latest CD, and I don't know if they'll be on the others, except there are some live performances I heard might be coming out. But anyway, this is from his latest CD. It's Do You Believe in Gosh? It's Mitch Hedberg from his latest CD.
He came up here twice, Powerman.
That's right, and he worked with you both of those times.
Amazing stuff. Amazing the fact that, he never gave up on himself. That's the key to this business.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you believe in gosh?
I certainly do. Oh my gosh, he made it.
Yeah, he sure did. Now, Bob, if you could illustrate now, of course, we talked about your club. We mentioned a little bit about your work. Maybe you can tell us what kind of work you do now. Like, maybe people are tuned in, or maybe people are in town for a little while. What cities, what towns, what venues can people look for Comedy Factory brand shows? The Laughs on Us.
You're talking about us on tour?
Yeah.
For those listeners in places like Red Deer.
Or maybe they have family in those places. Maybe you could just toss a couple couple cities, couple towns, couple venues.
Red Deer's Capri Inn and Grand Prairie's Casino, Fort McMurray's Quality Inn, Dan's Bar in Lloydminster. I mean, pal, all they have to do is check their local listings. If they're real comedy fans, there is comedy on tour in your town.
And I want to take a moment to say, if you're not sure if there's a comedy show in your town or in a town near you, just call the Comedy Factory at
780-469-4999. That's 469-4999. I sound like a pizza delivery guy, don't I?
A little bit. Now, once again, find out if there's a comedy show in your town, and if there's not, find out what it would take to set one up.
Yeah, that would be amazing too, Powerman. That's a good point. If you are interested in putting together a night of 1,000 laughs, call the Comedy Factory or go to our website, www.thecomedyfactory.com. And who knows, maybe Powerman and Bob will bring you a Lewis Black.
That's right. Lewis Black is a very, very funny ranty comedian. Here's a little taste of him right here on The Club Roast. We'll be right back.